breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us? Welcome. Let me stop that screen share. Hey, welcome to Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. It is Rocking the Valley YouTube, and this all shows on Songwriters Alive live on in Tom Cooney YouTube and the Songwriters Alive playlist. So again, Monday nights from 7 to 8 is where the original Lehigh Valley Music Hour sits. On the first and third Monday from 7 to 8, it's Songwriters Alive with myself. On the second and fourth Mondays, don't forget, it's the Cyber Speakeasy with Not for Coltrane, Mike Duck. Doesn't matter what it is, it's great music, great people, great information, and it's all about people in the region, in the Mid-Atlantic region, and the Lehigh Valley region, every Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Mark your calendar. Big shout out to Steve Jones for the additional distribution for these shows at Rocking the Valley and everyone else at Rocking the Valley. So welcome to Frank Porter.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing, Frank?
Pretty good. It's great to be here.
It is good to see you. Frank is a very popular musician in the Lehigh Valley and Mid-Atlantic region, and he started to play out a little bit more, as you'll find out. But as most of us know, we're seeing people much less during the last year and a half because of COVID and all the lockdowns. So it'll be really good to catch up with Frank, and he'll tell you what he's doing in terms of music projects and what he's doing in terms of going back out live and playing again, and all the other neat stuff. Frank's always got a million things going on. So how's the world been treating you, Frank?
I really can't complain, honestly. Like you said, lots of good things going on.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I see you've really kept the music going through this whole thing.
It's what's keeping me sane, which is why you're seeing so much of me. And then my manager stumbled across an ad that a studio had out. We'll record your album for free, so you can't say no to that. So now I'm doing that.
Wow, that is amazing stuff. Hey, you know what we like to do? We like to get right into the music. We're going to hear all about Frank and what he's up to and where you can find his music and buy his music. But like we like to do in the show, let's get right into it. And Frank, what were you thinking of sharing with folks for your first tune tonight?
I have a song called Gift Song. Comes off my new album, Frank Porter Acoustic. And there's a little story behind how it got on there. I needed one more song for the album. I went into my archives, found a file titled Gift Song. And I think the reason I called it that is it felt like it was given to me like as a gift. So I don't even feel like I wrote this song. So without further ado.
Oh, that's wonderful. Really catchy melody.
Thank you so much.
Very nice.
When I heard it, that's the right form.
So it's funny you mentioned the song's called The Gift?
Yeah, it's called Gift Song.
Gift Song, and you thought that that's the way the song came to you as well, kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, I really don't feel like I wrote it.
Wow.
It just came through me like I burst it. I didn't really.
So here's a songwriting question, because as everyone in the audience knows, we talk about the songwriting craft in this show series. So roughly, what's your estimate? What percentage of your songs, roughly, come that way, where like they just come out of left field and they come and they hit you?
Whole songs don't usually come that way.
Yeah.
Pieces, not real often come that way, but often enough that I know there's something out there helping me.
Yeah. Yeah. So like most songwriters, a smaller percentage of those for you come that way. So what's the most common way they come? Is it because you're such a musical person on your instrument? Is it usually the music and the melody come first for you, and then you think about words later?
Yes. That's a very common thing that happens to me.
Yeah, with guitarists of your caliber, that I see that a lot. Boy, it's really neat. Always fun to talk about the craft folks out in the audience. As you know, there's a million ways a song comes and a million ways to finish them. And I think the biggest thing, and Frank, you'll probably agree with me, for all the novice songwriters out there or the younger songwriters, the thing is to write it down when it comes. You're not going to remember it.
If you can record it and write it, all the better. Because then you'll remember what feel you were doing when you were making it. You'll get things from the recording that will help you.
That's a great tip. You can put it down on a chart and chart out the chords, but the groove and the feel, if you can just even put it in your music memos or your voice memos app, great. That's a great tip.
That's where I put them.
That's awesome.
Thousands of them.
Hey, we like to keep the music going here. So, Frank, what you were thinking of sharing for your second song with folks? And if there's anything you want to tell us about it, that'd be great too. Thank you.
Right. This next song, first I have to clear my looper pedal. So you can show this and up, and I do this at live shows. I use a looper pedal, and this is how you clear it. No hands, I clear it like that. People get a kick out of that. So this song's called Nitro. Goes all the way back to 1978.
Wow. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I hope you got a fire extinguisher there.
That's why I still play it all the time.
Wow. You have been in the woodshed, man. You are getting around that fingerboard.
Thank you.
I got a question for
It's
you.
a good place for me.
For folks out in the audience, so what's your average amount of practice on an average week?
Ooh.
Practice or playing, because I know playing is part of
all
it.
that stuff. 20, up to at least 20 hours, I would say, in a week, something like that. And I used to get 4 hours straight. I would do that. That kind of conditions me for those long gigs. I haven't had that since COVID hit, so I've been trying to do live streams and rehearse more with other people. So I'm working out with a drummer in the Poconos. I go up there every Tuesday for about 4 hours and work out with him. Hoping to have a band.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I've been writing a lot. I think my total music time between playing and writing and doing my shows, my music podcast, and then hosting house concerts on Zoom for different songwriting groups, it's probably about 30 to 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So things get pretty hectic. So yeah, boy, that is neat. That is neat. Hey, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. We're here on the first and third Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on first and third Mondays on Rocking the Valley YouTube. And the song is saved out, the show is saved out to Tom Cooney YouTube in the playlist Songwriters Alive. Don't forget, every Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. is your place to be on Rocking the Valley YouTube. On the second and fourth Mondays, Not for Coltrane, Mike Duck has his cyber speakeasy with fantastic guests and topics from around the greater Lehigh region. And so regardless, that's the place to be on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Let's take a look at your main page. So what we like to do with our guests is let folks know where you can find out more about them, what their web presence is, how you can listen to the music, and how you can get their music, which is a really neat thing. So I'm going to make sure I've got this page up, and then I'm going to share it, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Right. Here's my main page. If you want to find out what I'm doing, this is a good place to go. frankporteracoustic.com will bring you there. It's also my Reverb Nation page, and I'm not even sure what my Reverb Nation page is. I think it's Frank Porter Acoustic. Anyways, the main page has an overview, but there's a music page that has most of my albums, at least most of my recent albums. That's them. And the most recent one is that one in the left. That's Frank Porter Favorites. The one next to it is I Can Win. The one next to it is Frank Porter Live. And the one below there is Who I Am. So right now, I'm really promoting Frank Porter Favorites. That came out in December 2020. And one of the songs from there, Fly Live, took third place in an international songwriting competition in December of 2020 when the album came out. So that's a pretty awesome way to start the album. The album is a mixture of songs, 3 of them from an album that didn't get to come out because of COVID, 6 of them from my past albums, kind of like a mini greatest hits album, and the one song, the gift song that I played for you earlier, which I pulled out of my archives, literally. I needed one more song, and I just wanted to have something different on there, and that's how gift song got on there. And so yeah, there's gift song. And if you go to shows, I don't know if you can find the past events, but I haven't had a chance to load the new shows that have come in, and there's a number of them. In fact, let me talk about that while I'm in the shows segment. You can click on the past shows to see where I just was. I was at Jamie's House of Music in Lansdowne on this past Saturday. And where was I Friday? Friday, I was at the Emmaus Public Library with my duo, Yingling Porter on tap. And then the previous week on Sunday, I was at Crooked Eye Brewery. And where else was I? The zoo. Well, yeah, Lehigh Valley Zoo. I did a show up there called Party for the Planet. And the Thursday before the gig at the zoo, I was out in Sunbury, Pennsylvania at Whispering Oaks Vineyard. So I had like a series of like 6 shows in about 10 days, something like that. Very busy time. And I was going into the recording studio on my days off. So some of my other upcoming shows that I haven't gotten a chance to list are the Emmaus Farmers Market on May 23rd. And I think that runs from about 10 a.m. to 1 or 10:30 to 1 or 12:30 to 2 or something like that. It'll be on my page, so come back to the page and check it for the time. I'm doing something at the zoo again. I forget what they're calling it. They haven't sent me all the details yet, but May 29th, I'll be back at the Lehigh Valley Zoo. And on June 10th, from probably 7 to 10, I believe it's a Thursday night, at Crooked Eye Brewery in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. On June 20th, I'll be back at the Emmaus Farmers Market. And then on June 25th, my duo, Yingling Porter on Tap, will be back in the Emmaus Triangle, which is where the market is, playing something called the Summer Concert Series. So if you want to see my duo, come out on June 25th. And then on July 11th, the duo is going to participate in Riverfest at Shawnee on the Delaware. And then August 19th, I'm back at Crooked Eye Brewery. So I'm got some more shows coming up. I'm working on a new album as well. Can't cover the album on this page, however.
Right. Well, that is wonderful. A lot of shows picking up on that. So don't forget to go back to that shows page on frankporteracoustic.com, which takes you to this reverbnation.com/Frank Porter Acoustic page. So that shows page will have all the current information on there. So again, we saw the overview page here. We looked at the music page, and that's where, as Frank said, he's got those 4 featured albums up there. And as Frank said, the one going on right now is Frank Porter Favorites. Frank, were there any couple of snippets you'd want to share from Frank Porter Favorites with folks right now?
Sure. There's one called Knock the Mix and Mix.
All right, let's do that. I'm going to press play.
Okay.
And again, this is from Frank Porter Favorites is the release we're looking at. And was there another tune that you wanted to share with folks from Frank Porter Favorites?
Sure. This is one on there called Who I Am.
Slow, but I know I've got to keep rolling on. Gonna keep rocking the best that I can. Choices and actions are who I
am. Boy, that's really nice. Really nice. All of your songs have such a neat hook on them, Frank.
I try.
They grab your attention and you hook, and you keep a good amount of repetition. You draw the listener right in. It's great.
That song will probably never be mentioned, and here's why. It's a great song, but it's the same 4 chords over and over, played with a different feel. And that's really all it is. It's something so simple, it's crazy.
Isn't that funny? There's a lot of successful pop tunes written that way.
That's absolutely true.
Well, that's the saying. The great saying about country music. It's 3 chords and the truth.
Right. So true. And this song is it's a true song.
Awesome. Good stuff. So we were looking again, folks, at frankporteracoustic.com. That's where you can find out about Frank, his background, his music, his shows. That's where you can purchase his music as well as listen to it. And just a great place to go. It's just really good to have Frank Porter as our guest here. Again, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney, and it's Monday nights, the first and third Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Rocking the Valley YouTube. And don't forget, the second and fourth Mondays on Rocking the Valley YouTube, it's Not for Coltrane's Cyber Speakeasy, another show you're really, really going to enjoy. So again, that's where you can find stuff Monday nights at 7 o'clock here. As I like to do, I like to share some music with our guest, something that of mine that I've written that's kind of inspired by their kind of music as well. I'm always glad to do that, especially with Frank. I'm troubled by my second mind. It's an anchor on my heart. No peace, no rest, no joy can I find. How will I make a new start? It's always racing and running, afraid of everything it finds. It's always messing with my first one. Oh, my second mind. I'm burdened by my second heart. It's such an anchor on my mind. It cowers in the dark and never strays too far. It's been broken one too many times. Oh, it's always crying and trembling, falling apart. It's always messing with my first one. Oh, my second heart. I'm trying to find my first soul. I'm gonna wrap it around me nice and tight. It's old and wise, and so I've been told. It'll tell me where to set my sights. I feel it stirring, I feel it rumbling. It's gonna speak just what it knows. It's gonna shake the foundation, tear down my second soul. My second heart, my second mind. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Wow. That's a tune called My Second Mind.
I was digging.
Thanks. I saw you playing off camera.
Great.
We have, thank you. We have definitely got to play that one together next time we're together.
That was
Yeah. I wrote that song as a rocker. I don't do a lot of rockers like you do, Frank, but I wrote it as a rocking out kind of John Lee Hooker vibe.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, mixed with a little bit of Texas boogie woogie. And the lyrics are about it's a spin on the old blues phrase, "My first mind." This song is called "My Second Mind." So in the great blues phrase from way, way back in the days, my first mind was if I had listened to my first mind, if I'd listened to what I was trying to tell myself. And in this one, it takes a different spin on it and says, I have been listening to my second mind, and I have to stop. I have to stop doing that. So it fills in the missing piece of the first mind puzzle.
I have to stop doing that.
I think a lot of people do. It's good to, good to second guess yourself, but not too much, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually that first thing.
Yeah. Anyway, I always enjoy sharing stuff, and especially with a good musician like you, Frank. And that's my little bit I wanted to say about that. And so let's keep the music right on going. I know you've got a lot of great tunes, as folks just saw by as we just took a look at your website. Again, that's frankporteracoustic.com. And what were you thinking of sharing with folks next?
Maybe something called Let's Shine. It's kind of an appropriate song for what we're going through right now. It would be good if we could all come together and shine. That's kind of what the song's about. And it goes way back, too. It's one of my earliest songs, actually. Not my very first one, but I can remember being in the living room of the family home, and my father overheard this song and goes, and he was a trombone player, so he knew music a little bit. He goes, I think he might have something there. And that was a pretty good compliment coming from my father, actually. So without further ado, I'm going to do this song dedicated to the world and healing and everyone coming together. All right. Guitar to me is a game. Do you know I think Earth is our home? Do you know I'm not alone? Do you know we're destroying the earth? Do you realize just what it's worth? Besides destroying earth, we're destroying us. There's still time to stop. Believe my words. And in another day we'll find a way. Get all the people together, we'll say. In another time we'll make it all right. Get all the people together, we'll shine. I am feeling. Can you believe these things I am seeing? Can you hear these words I am saying? Can you hear? I am praying. I am praying. And in another day we'll find a way. Get all the people together, we'll say. In another time we'll make it all right. Get all the people together, let's shine.
Oh, a wonderful tune. Really positive song.
Thank you.
Wow. What was the motivation for that tune?
I see the world in a different way. And I see it as I prefer it to be in the way it really is. And I imagine that all the time and kind of hold that thought in my head. And it's been with me since way back when I wrote that song, even before then. That song just kind of expressed that vibe.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah,
It sure would be a bit worse.
yeah.
I see it going on. I really do. There's lots of positivity happening amidst the negativity.
Yeah, I've sensed a lot of that too, especially since last fall and early this year. And to your point, things, so the positiveness, maybe it's not going to change everything, but nothing's going to happen without it.
You got to create fertile ground for good things to grow. That's how I look at it. And if we're not doing it ourselves, who's going to do it? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's very true. I was talking about that in a Songwriters session I was in a couple of days ago. We were talking about that. Sometimes, yes, you have to force yourself to be positive and to act doing positive things when you might not emotionally or spiritually be ready to do it. You just kind of got to go do it anyway.
So true. I recently went through a day of where darkness was trying to get me, and I had to really fight it a bit, and I did, and it worked. That's the lesson. But if you're not conscious of it, and you don't consciously fight it, you can go to some pretty dark places.
Yeah, it is. There's so many negative things in the world that can really get you down. It is. You have to just keep on going. Yeah, I remember when I started these music podcasts in the spring of 2020. It was a reaction to exactly what you just said. Things were so dark, and the early days of the pandemic were so dark that I said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to web stream and live cast. I'm going to create my own half-hour original music show every Tuesday at 4:00 and just do my stuff. And talk about, elections and important things people should be doing to stay positive. And I'm going to start this series where I can sit down with a songwriter and they can share, what they do in their craft and all the neat things that they do to create music. And it was exactly that, Frank. It was so dark. It was like, I've got to do something. Got to do something.
Mm-hmm. I read a saying, I don't know, 30 years ago now. In times of greatest darkness, there is the greatest light. So whenever I start to feel dark, I remind myself that the greatest light is here existing right now with me, right now. And it helps every time.
Yeah, that is true. And of course, there's the old great saying, it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness.
Yes. that ties into choices and actions in my song. You've got to choose to light that candle.
Yeah.
That's an action. So you're going to take an action, and it will have a reaction.
Here's a song I wrote in 2016. It's called Midnight Ride, and it is about an imaginary person driving around in a Lincoln convertible after midnight in the dark with 3 or 4 of his friends who may or may not be imaginary. You have to decide. And who may or may not have passed on. You'll have to decide as well. So, the song is called Midnight Ride. Wild Eddie couldn't get his fill. Was it the bottle? Was it the pills? Couldn't make the world bend to his will. Tore down Joe, well, he lost his heart. His cruel, cruel world, it tore it apart. Couldn't find the will to make a new start. Now I'm riding with the boys on that midnight ride. Top down, shades on, I got nothing but time. I don't remember when we crossed that line. But now I'm riding with the boys on that midnight ride. Slick Pete would buy on a wink and a grin. Tempted the devil again and again. Never could forgive himself for a life of sin. Free thinking Sally drew outside the lines. It confused this a world of small, small minds. So the fix was in, she ran out of time. Now I'm riding with the boys. Now I'm riding with the boys on that midnight ride. Top down, shades on, we got nothing but time. I don't remember when we crossed that line. But now I'm riding with the boys on that midnight ride. Well, now me, I'm just the driver. At least that's what I tell myself. Or maybe I can't say goodbye to the ones I've loved so well. And I don't know where we're going, but if I did, I wouldn't tell. So slip the Lincoln and drive. It's boat drinks tonight. Next stop could be heaven or hell. Oh, I'm riding with the boys on the midnight ride. Top down, shades on, I got nothing but time. I don't remember when we crossed that line. But now I'm riding with the boys on that midnight ride. Well, that was a tune called Midnight Ride. And Midnight Ride is a tune that I wrote in 2016 about someone who goes back and misses people who've passed on. And he's driving around in a Lincoln, missing his friends, and it's just a neat song about different kinds of people who may have passed on that you miss.
That strikes a note.
I like that tune. It's unlike anything else I've ever written, Frank.
I was thinking some really neat stuff. I should have heard about you.
I saw your fingers. You were catching the E minor riffs pretty good.
Yeah, there was something happening. Towards the end, I started really finding this. It was nice.
No doubt about it. You and I are going to have to jam again together sometime.
Yeah, I love playing.
I do too. I really respect your playing, and you got a great ear. A lot of fun to play with you.
Yeah, a lot of fun with you too.
Thank you.
Feed me like no one else.
Thank you very much. Hey, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. Monday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Rocking the Valley YouTube. Every Monday at 7 o'clock is where you can find great shows. On the first and third Monday, it's this one. It's Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. Our special guest this time is Frank Porter. And on the second and fourth Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, it's Not for Coltrane and the Cyber Speakeasy, a wonderful show of regional artists from Lehigh Valley and the Mid-Atlantic, and great stories and great music. So this is the place to be, Monday nights at 7 o'clock. You can find this show, Songwriters Alive, on my Tom Cooney YouTube page in the playlist called Songwriters Alive. Great place to go find all the past shows and all the past artists. It has been such a gas to have Frank Porter on this show again. Frank was one of the first guests, and Frank and I were both doing it way back last spring when Zoom was trying to figure out what it was trying to do. Facebook Live was trying to figure out what it was trying to do. Everyone was so challenged by the tech back then. And I said, I've got to get Frank back on this show now that all these companies have kind of figured out what they're trying to do with the tech.
We figured it out.
We did, and it's just really good to hear you. Don't forget, folks, it's frankporteracoustic.com. That takes you directly to his Reverb Nation page where you can find out about him and his background, his shows, listen to his music, and acquire his music, buy his music. You saw the 4 releases that are featured up there and all the singles that are featured. Make sure you go out, listen to Frank, check that show page for the updated list of shows, and make sure you support Frank. He does so much for folks in the greater Lehigh Valley. And Frank, it's just, before you take folks out on your last tune, I just want to say thank you again for coming back on. It's always good to hear your music.
Oh, thank you so much. Very glad to be here. Truly a pleasure.
Awesome. So what were you thinking of taking folks out on?
All right. I have this thing. This just popped into my head, so maybe I should go with it. You know what I mean? When things pop into your head. This is called Irish Pansy Picker Song. It's not on any album yet, and it got its name from my friend Pierre, who also did a dance. I was at a show recently where someone asked me to describe the dance, and I said, it's kind of like a skeleton with a top hat. Think like Grateful Dead, sort of, or something like that. So that describes the dance my friend was doing to this song. I don't know why I made him dance like that, but it's a funny title, too. But as soon as he said it, I knew I had to call this song that name. So without further ado, Irish Pansy Picker Song.
Go ahead. Oh, that was wonderful. What a happy tune.
Thank you.
Really great. And it did sound Celtic, too. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Irish and this one.
Really neat.
Give it to Pierre. How was it going to be?
Hey, again, our guest this week has been Frank Porter. Check him out at frankporteracoustic.com. Make sure you support Frank at his shows and getting his music and stuff. And it's always an honor and a lot of fun to talk to Frank and listen to Frank play. And make sure you do reach out and connect with him all over the Valley. Frank, thanks again so much. I had a guess. What a great episode.
Yes. Thank you, Tom. I will have fun with you.
That sounds great. We'll see everyone next time on Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Breath of twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here?